I sort of first had eating problems when I was about 18, really. It was always in the back of my mind. I had a fantastic upbringing, you know, my parents were always saying, you know, nice stuff, encouraging. They never said that I was fat or anything, although looking back at it now, I was overweight for my age. But when I was younger, my mum said, oh, you're just big bones, you know, or you're cuddly or something like that, so you don't think of it. So as I grew older, got to college, I was about 17, and I was about 13.5 stone. I was so unhappy. My sister, she was amazing. She had amazing figure. Everything about her was just perfect. But with me, it was totally different. I was short and I was stocky. And at first, it didn't really bother me because I suppose my mum and dad were so loving and caring, and they didn't have the heart to say, look, darling, you're fat, or that you've got to lose a little bit of weight, which I suppose in hindsight would have helped me. But at the end of the day, my parents were so lovely, they just didn't have the heart to say anything. So it was just like, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart, you big boned, you know. So, but it did make it harder for me in the end, I suppose. But as I got to about 17, things were getting uncomfortable. I was, you know, going through hormones and all sorts, you know, and boys and everything, so it started kicking into my head, look, hang on a minute, you ain't nothing, you know, you're fat, no one's taking any notice of you, no one wants to know you, you're a butt of jokes. I had nicknames that were by my friends, but then thinking back to it, it's like, well, actually those nicknames weren't quite funny, you know. It's I was pretty uncomfortable physically in my body and mentally, really, you know, and it did bother me. I was stuck in a rut. No matter what I'd done, it just didn't last for long. So I remember one time I went out for a birthday meal with my sister, and I had a massive meal, an absolute massive meal, and it made me feel sick afterwards, and I was sick, and I thought, hang on a minute, I'm eating, and my body just, you know, it was too much for my body, so it naturally just got rid of it. And I thought, oh, you know, it's, you know, I could do this. I suppose I'd already lost weight as well, because someone said to me, you're always going to be fat. And I smoked at the same time as well, so it's like, you're always going to be fat and you're going to smell like an ashtray. So I thought, right, okay, so I proved them wrong in that respect, and I did lose a bit of weight. But when I had this meal, I was sick, because I'd already hit a block and I couldn't lose any more weight. I thought, no, this is it. I didn't think too well about it, really. It was just a thought at the time in my head. It's okay thinking about it now and knowing that it's wrong and it was not a very good situation, but there in my head it was a logical thing to do. It was absolutely logical. If the body has had too much, then it will get rid of it. So what was the problem of me actually, I suppose, stupidly helping it on its way, I suppose. So it got to a point where I was obsessed. I'd weigh myself all the time. Because I was losing weight, it was that feeling of two things. One, I didn't want to go back to the way I was, which was fat and uncomfortable, which I felt I was fat and uncomfortable, and also to not to, you know, it was just to feel different. I didn't want to feel that person anymore. I wasn't getting bullied anymore. I wasn't uncomfortable. It didn't hurt when I walked. I wasn't asthmatic anymore. So, and I was frightened. It absolutely petrified me to go back to the way where I felt like I was nobody because I was too fat. No one wanted to really want me, you know. So, you know, it got competitive as well with other people. They started losing weight, and I was like, no, I'm going to be lighter than you. And looking back at it now, it seems a bit silly, but you know, it isn't really. Not when you're in that situation. It takes over your life, basically. it becomes normality when you do it every day. I mean, I'm an absolute foodie. I love my food, and I just couldn't stop eating. And so, you know, it got to a point where I used to eat. I used to enjoy the food, and then I'd probably make myself sick, you know, and then I'd be happy. I didn't feel guilty for eating. Then I would chew my food. I would chew it and get the taste out of it, feel that I've had benefit, and then I'd spit it out. It wasn't as serious as I know some people have had it, but it did take over my life in a way. It was only until I had my first daughter, then I started thinking, well, hang on a minute, you know, it's okay. You've had a baby, it's fine. You're meant to put on weight, and then afterwards you're still meant to have a little bit of weight because you've just had a baby. But then I felt uncomfortable again. She got to about 2 years old, and I thought, no, I don't like it. I don't like that. It started making me feel the way I was. And so I started losing weight again, and then I fell pregnant with my second daughter, and then it just went all over again. I was happy, I was fine, you know, and didn't give a care what I looked like, and when I had her it was fine, but then I wanted to lose weight again, and so I started really going back to the way I wasn't making myself sick, because I didn't want that anymore. I'd got to a point where I was finding different ways, like really excessively exercising, so I felt I didn't feel guilty for eating. By the time I had my third daughter, I didn't think I would have any more children, so I really started getting into running, weightlifting and things like that, going to loads of classes. I'd be out all the time. I wouldn't think much of being out of at least 5 times a week. Sometimes I'd be out running 2-3 times a day. Not every day, but you know, sometimes I think, no, it's not enough. I didn't run enough, so I have to run a little bit more to make me feel less guilty of eating. Yeah, so basically I didn't go back to when I was making myself sick. That was gone, but it still niggles. Even now, I had my 4th daughter, and I had a cesarean. I had cesareans with all of them, but I was supposed to rest. I was out running by, I think she was 3 months old, and I was out running at night time because I didn't want people to see me, because I knew people would have a go at me because obviously I wasn't really healed. But I just couldn't sit there. It was playing on my mind. It was niggling me. What people seem to not think about is, just because you're better and you try and fight, and you fight really hard for normality, it's still there. They think, oh, it's okay, she's fine now, she's eating all right, and I know she's exercising, so it's balancing, she seems happy, she looks healthy, it's fine. It isn't, honestly. It niggles. It's a fighting battle every day. I say to myself, oh wow, you're looking quite good today. You know, in the morning I think, yeah, you lost a bit, your trousers are baggy, and by the night time I think, and you look awful. Your trousers are baggy probably because you either stretched them or something. Your top's gone funny. You put it in the machine and you think your mind just changes, just like the wind. It just changes. No one can understand unless they've been there how you actually feel. It's like any mental health issues, anything. Some people annoy me when they say, oh, it's all right, they're just attention seeking, or they're just making it up, or it's this. It isn't. It's an actual condition, it's an actual situation, and it makes me angry when people say, oh, she's nuts, or they're nuts. It is, no, I'm not going to be intentionally doing this. It bothers me. It's just something up there that's just saying, you need to do this because you're fat, or you've put on a bit of weight, and you can't let yourself slip. And it does, it niggles, and it hurts. It really hurts. Because I don't want to be feeling like that anymore. I want to walk down the street, see someone that's really thin, muscly, or and I want to be able to say, oh wow, she looks amazing, good on her. I don't want to feel the way I do when I say she looks amazing and I look like rubbish, and I feel like it, and I look at people and I'm thinking, why can't I be like that? And at one point I looked at someone and I thought, why can't I be as thin as her? But not realising, only now I realise, looking back at it, I was much thinner than her. But it didn't feel like it. It really didn't. And I thought, I need to lose more weight because I want to be that thin. But in hindsight, I was making myself poorly. I mean, what I tried to learn myself is now to realise that everyone's different. Everyone's meant to be built differently. Not everyone's meant to be skinny and to look skinny. I look at photos now and of when I was big. I don't like looking at photos, but I've kept them when I was 13.5 stone, and I look at ones where I was at my lightest, and although I didn't like the look of myself when I was bigger, I looked healthy, I looked bubbly, everything about me, it just shone. But from when I was at my lightest and I was quite, I felt quite poorly. I'd been, binging, and then I'd be not eating the right things, and I wasn't getting vitamins and things like that, and the proper stuff that my body needed, and I looked ill. I did. I looked, my bones were protruding, I looked really unhealthy, and I looked tired. And basically, I thought at that time I was fat, but looking at it, I wasn't. I was ill. I was very, very unhealthy, very ill. And some people don't look good skinny, and I don't. I know I don't. It doesn't stop me the way I feel about myself sometimes. It's always going to be there. I'm never going to get rid of it. It doesn't mean I'm mad or anything like that. I'm not. It just means that I'm human. I'm absolutely human. And to have those feelings isn't wrong. It's just how we are, isn't it? And I don't believe for 1 minute that there's a person out there that don't have doubts about themselves and their appearance or their thoughts. I think everybody do, and that's what makes us human.